In this video, we're going to be talking about how to brainstorm creative, innovative ideas for the product design interview. Product design interviews are a part of product management interviews. Product management interviews cover a large variety of questions. Product design interviews are focused on testing your ability to be creative, to come up with moonshot ideas, and to really think outside the box. In the product design interview, there are a variety of steps and stages that we recommend on how to ace it. In the description below, we'll put a link of how to actually go about this entire product design interview, including structure and all that sort of stuff. However, in this video, what I want to focus on is that part of brainstorming. So we're going to work on this skill of how to actually stand out in the interview by showing a really awesome moonshotty idea. And there's actually a really simple formula for coming up with these if you're stuck. And the simple formula starts with step 1, creating a big ideas list. And so now, again, to remind us, the types of questions that we're going to be getting in this interview are come up with the future of a library, or innovate the future of airports, or how would you radically improve a gas station experience? These questions can, when you hear them, they're kind of challenging. Like, how do I actually get started? What do I do? How do I answer these questions? So first, step 1, we're going to come up with that big ideas list. And now, this is independent of any question. Just what are some big, wild ideas in tech that you're really excited about right now? Some of mine might be the sharing economy, or another one might be context awareness, like this notion that products and services know about you before you interact with them, that allow them to actually optimize the experience for you. And so now that we have this big ideas list, and by the way, like, your big ideas list should be different than mine. It should be something that you actually personally care about. When you read the news, what are you really excited about? Is it Web3? Is it, like the new fintech products that are coming onto market? There's a ton of new technology products and services and areas that are coming to fruition, and each of you will have your own that feels really, really exciting and feels really, really awesome to you. And this will be more helpful, as you see in later stages, to have something that feels really genuine and authentic. So now let's assume that you have this big ideas list. Now, step 2 is like, let's take this big ideas list that you created, and now let's start to apply it to the problem that we have. So, for instance, let's say that the question that we got asked was, how would you improve the future of a library? So if you wanted to focus on that, we have these big ideas lists, right? We have the sharing economy and we have context awareness. So it's 2 of my ideas. And so now what you do is you apply those ideas to each other and kind of merge them into basically coming up with something that's really innovative. And so I'll show you this in action. So let's take the library. And let's say I want to apply context awareness, that notion that I really like of products and services knowing you before you know what you want, to the library. So you can imagine when I walk into the library, maybe the library knows, it scans my profile and it knows already which books that I want to read, and it sort of directs me to a section of the library based on that. Or even further, what if it's in virtual reality and the bookshelves themselves rearrange themselves in a way that actually showcases things that I want? In some ways, Amazon sort of already does this, but we can maybe apply this to physical spaces or virtual spaces in the same way that libraries don't have to actually be about this Dewey Decimal System finding a book, but it can be about making that journey and that experience much easier for you. In this case, I'm solving the pain point of sort of like the search problem of libraries. But you see how I kind of came up with an innovative idea just sort of by applying like, hey, what would this trend look like if applied to this space? And again, in the actual product design interview, you're going to want to start with the user pain points. You're going to want to brainstorm based on the user pain points. But I'm recommending this as a tool to kind of get those juices flowing if you are concerned about coming up with these cool ideas, these brainstormy moonshot ideas in the interview. Let's just do one more example with a library so that it makes sense. So let's take the sharing economy. If we apply that to the library, the future of that might be something like a decentralized library where you can borrow and rent books from one another in your neighborhood. So maybe the notion of a library is more about community organization and connecting a community, and this still accomplishes that and actually saves space and money and paper, because people can borrow each other's books much more easily, and you can rent and lend books to one another. And so again, that's a really cool, interesting idea, and it's very easy to come up with it because you're sort of taking these trends that you already know and love and have thought about a lot and applying it to the problem that you have. So it's a simple, quick process. Step 1, come up with that big ideas list. Step 2, apply it to these problems. And then step 3, communicate your solution, or communicate the solution that feels the most exciting and that maps to those user problems that you identified in the earlier start of that product sense or product design interview that you're answering. There you have it. That's one way to elevate your brainstorm level of thinking in the product design interview. And again, this does not cover the full product design interview, so if you're watching this video, I would recommend checking out the link in the description below to see how to think about the entire product design or product sense interview in its entirety so that you don't just necessarily focus on this one part. Good luck with your product management interviews. I know these can be really challenging. If you do need more resources or help, we are at tryexponent.com. We have a product management course, lists of interview questions that have been asked, along with hundreds of mock interview videos that are designed to help you ace your coming up interview.